G'day guys, SmithCity here for SmithCity product reviews. Sun is still out. I just finished with the Hard Road Pale Ale Belgium Pale Ale rather. So I move on to the next one, and I'm really hoping this is a really good review. So I've done a blueberry milkshake IPA from Deeds, and as the review went on, like I probably overrated it with my exuberance of like what I was experiencing with the drink. And then as the drink went on, I gave it, I can't remember what I gave it. I think I may have given it a 7 or maybe a 6.7 or something like that. I recently did just a photo review on Instagram of a pale ale that they had, and I really enjoyed that. So it was a shame I didn't get to review that. That milkshake the blueberry milkshake IPA I did on a live feed on Facebook, so that's why it's not on YouTube. But I'm here with Best Coast Volume 2 Quiet Deeds IPA, ABV 7.2%, 440ml can, proudly established, independent, 2012. So I won't read any of it. I'll get it into a glass, made in Australia, no additives, no preservatives, for best before date C can, 2.5 standard drinks. There's the packaging, synonymous of the Deeds brand. That's pretty much their brand, really. Like, you've got the logo with a matte finish with the writing, and then you've got a little bit of sort of splashed colour around the can, and then you've got your metallic parts around the sleeve. So we'll get into a glass and we'll see what we've got. I've gone back to the normal glasses. I was struggling to see what was on the camera. Felt like it wasn't really doing the review any good, so I've gone back to my glasses, which is creating a bit of glare, and I'm squinting, but I can see a little bit better. So get this into a glass. And I hope this is good, because I love my IPAs. Head's really good on that. One finger head. Quite hazy. Really small pinprick bubbles. I'm not too sure if you can see that. I'll try to get it still with the glare of the sun. I'm not really being able to see much on the camera. That's what it looks like. We'll get the aroma, guys. Oh, okay, really juice bomb. I'm getting like guava, mango, passion fruit, orange, mandarin, which is the mandarin, that just brings me back to pub crawl last year, smelling someone eating mandarin the next day on a massive hangover. That just sort of made me want to throw up on the train on the way home. I think that probably links back to a house cooling party I was at with my wife, girlfriend back then, and I remember having an orange juice the next day after a massive night on the drinks, and I had to get off the train in the city to have a vomit stop, because the orange juice didn't agree with me there. So I think going back years in advance, going to the pub crawl, and then someone eating mandarin on the train on the way home sort of probably triggered everything within myself. So enough talking. and we'll smell the aroma, passion fruit, mango, guava, and we'll just get stuck in. Okay. Wow. Okay. So my first sip was I wouldn't say a clash, but the hops and the bitterness were almost fighting to see which one came out first, of like which one was going to be more prominent. So they weren't clashing. It was just more my palate was adjusting to see where the flavor profile of the beer was going to go within that first sip. It is really, really hoppy. As my palate's adjusted to the bitterness, the back end is a really sort of subtle, almost like a tropical fruit juice finish, like an orange and mango finish. And so, when I was talking about bitterness, and I'm glad I watched this video now. So, Real Ale Guides, Simon Martin did a video the other day. And he was talking about the bitterness he was experiencing from a particular beer. And so, normally, like when you're having a normal beer that's bitter, you're probably not getting this type of bitterness. And so this type of bitterness, it's almost like you're getting like orange rind and citrus rind, and like you're biting into that sort of rindiness, and that's creating the bitterness profile of it. So think of like putting an orange up to your nose and smelling the rind. That's kind of the bitterness. That's the flavor bitterness that you're getting from this beer. It's really interesting. So I'm not too sure whether I really went into detail about Deed's Brewing Company on my live video. I can't remember if I did. That video did go for a while, so maybe I did. My short-term and long-term memory is not that great, but usually my memory in the now is. But yeah, my long-term and short-term memory isn't that fantastic. So if I haven't, I'm sure I'll be reviewing plenty more. I'll probably go back into that video, see if I did talk about them. If I didn't, well then I'm sure next time I review these guys, I'll give their company a little bit more of a talk about. But sun was out and I just wanted to get stuck in. So we'll flip it around and we'll have a bit of a read. It is time to get yourself down to the best coast with this bold IPA in tow. Big additions of some of our favourite hops make for a punchy, fruity and somewhat resinous experience. With the surf gently lapping against the sandy beach, sit back, rest your eyes and relax. Let the best coast take you away. Excuse me. So their hops are Warrior, Centennial, Chinook, which was actually in this can here as well, Mosaic, Simcoe, and Cairo. So a lot of hops there, a lot of flavour packed into this particular drink. Malts: Golden Promise, wheat malt, flaked barley, dextrose. Style is a West Coast IPA. So there's like tiny pinprick carbonation bubbles. And so this does have a little bit of a mouthfeel to it, like as you can see from the head there still on the glass. It does, it's not thin, so it coats the palate, keeping those fruit rind, hoppy, bitterness type elements lingering, just pushing those flavours around your palate. Price, I'll chuck in the comments. Please subscribe, please like, please share, copy the link, send it to people. If you're mad in love with this company, if you absolutely love these guys, I would love to hear from you. What is your best style, Deeds Brewing beer? Post it in the comments, guys. Post it in the comments. I'd like to hear, because up until now I've been a little bit. I've seen lots of people really love this company, and I've been a little bit feeling a little bit mediocre about them until this drink. So I have only had 2 of them, and that's where you got to understand that, like, just because maybe a particular company or brewing company, you try a couple of their beers, doesn't mean you tar all their beers with the same brush. And I'm that sort of person with society in general, is that, there might be particular people out there that that might make you feel or remember certain things from different people that might trigger responses from you, and it's very unfair to that particular person to tar them with the same brush as other people. And so, moving back to the beer, is just because I have sort of been underwhelmed by maybe 2 beers I've tried from them, doesn't mean that I go, oh, that company is just rubbish now, so I'm not going to try them. That would just be foolish, absolutely foolish of me. Because if I decided to do that, I probably don't pick this up. There was probably elements where I saw this in the fridge and I went, you know what? I'll give them another go. I'll give this different beer that I haven't tried yet a go, and I'll see if Deeds Brewing can come up with the goods. And they've definitely done that here. Moving back to their milkshake IPA, initially I really enjoyed it, and then just as I went on along the journey with that beer, it just sort of wasn't there for me, and it wasn't my style of beer, and that's okay. It's going to happen. Obviously, I'm lactose intolerant, so that night as well, which probably, if I could go back to that, I'd probably review it a little bit lower, but maybe not, because that's my fault, not theirs. I'm lactose intolerant, and so that beer gave me like ridiculous stomach noises, like just my stomach just gurgling and doing all kinds of things that same evening. So, but that's not their fault. They produce a beer that's got lactose in it, and my body just can't handle lactose, and it is what it is. It won't mean that I won't ever review lactose beers, because I eat cheese, I drink milk occasionally, so it's just one of those things. But price point, I'm going to put in the comments, like I said. Drinkability. This is 7.2, and if I might add, doesn't drink like a 7.2. Okay, there is a sort of like, as I'm assessing it right now, there is sort of a little bit of a like alcoholic burn that's sort of like warming things as it goes down. But in terms of like that being like the alcohol being the prominent characteristic of the beer, it isn't. So the drinkability for the alcohol content is dangerous. What I mean by dangerous is you easily could drink a few of these and do yourself a mischief because of how high the alcohol content is. So I don't know whether I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing nonetheless. So yeah, if I'm removing the alcohol content out of it, and I'm saying how easy this is to drink for me, I'd easily say that the drinkability is right up there. Like it really is. Oh, this wind is just playing havoc with the other beer that I've got out here. I talked about packaging, and I suppose one thing I will say with Deeds Brewing is all of their cans, other than colour and a little bit of different variations, is they're all the same. So, like if I was to try this, if I was to try this the first time, this was the first Deeds product I tried, and I really enjoyed it. The fact that this style of can and the packaging is very similar, other than colour, and a little bit of like difference in terms of like this pattern. Next time I go out and I see a beer, I'll be naturally drawn to this particular like design, and therefore I'll go out and probably try it, try their other beers. So the fact that their packaging is very similar across all their range, and they don't really stray too far away from their particular design, means that next time I go out and I've had this now and I'm enjoying it, I'm more likely be inclined to if I'm scanning the fridge and see this and then like dart and go, okay, what's this beer from Deeds? I might get that and buy it. So packaging, I think in terms of across the board, keeping it sort of simple and keeping it sort of around the same sort of style with their particular packaging, just like Hard Road do, with their cans, other than colour, I think it's really good. I think if you start chopping and changing those things, you know, from a buyer's standpoint, I feel like if you don't know what a particular beer is, even if it is from the same company, and you're scanning a fridge, you're less likely to actually be able to locate it and buy it. So they've done a good job there. In terms of rating, guys, you can still see that the head on the glass there. It does have a good mouthfeel. I'm going to give this an 8.5. Really good job there by Deeds, and I wouldn't say they've restored my faith in terms of their beers and the beers that they create, but this experience alone will probably lead me to go, okay, well, I had one sort of relatively good pale ale, I had one sort of a bit indifferent milkshake IPA. This sort of then will probably lead me to be able to buy another one with them, with confidence that that there is a beer that these guys make that I'll enjoy. So yeah, 8.5. That's it for me. Enjoy the sun, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.